Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever ember wanders near.
Alright, so let's get into this. It's the plot for Doomsday is leaked. Now I know there was a leak several months back. I do not know if this is that leak or if it has gotten even worse. So I don't know. It looks like Neon and Geeky are going to go through this full leak. So let's take a look, see, buckle up. Oh, it's Neon and Geeky, so I'm going to preemptively, because I will not obscure the fiery redhead. So I am going to shift over here. Sorry, Neon, you will be blocked, but I'm sorry, it is in the bylaws. I cannot obscure Geeky. All right, let's go.
So the plot for Avengers Doomsday is apparently out there. It's been leaked. We're going to take a look at this rumored leaked plot line, and a lot of people are saying this is the real thing. John Campea said this is the real thing. This is what they're going with, and from what people have seen of the trailer, it seems to...
But by the way, I will remind everybody, this happened before with, I believe it was the last Star Wars movie, the Rise of Skywalker. Don't forget that entire movie's script and plot leaked too, and it was 100% true. The leak, the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker leak was 100% true. So at this point, there is a track record of these leaks where of the full movie being leaked into the public. There is a proven track record of truth behind them.
Support it, and if that is the case, this sounds like pure ass.
I don't think they do multiverse
and
scripts.
Things, so I'm coming into a completely, fresh-eared, not knowing any of these things. I know
fresh-eared.
Fresh-eared. That's my new word.
Don't worry, we'll dirty those ears up with.
I know. I'm very, very concerned.
I'm going to be honest. I am so checked out from Marvel at this point. Like, I don't give a shit if you kill everybody and just reset the whole. And that sounds like what they're going to try to do. They're going to reset.
So if you don't want to hear spoilers, I would not watch this.
No.
Video.
They're very, very likely. Yeah, Marvel is looking to do they've said for a while that they're trying to make this a soft reset. That they're in an effort to revitalize the MCU. I have a feeling they are going the route of Crisis on Infinite Earths. You guys may remember the DC Crisis on Infinite Earths thing, where you had, multiple DC characters from multiverses all coming together to, no, not Flashpoint. Not Flashpoint. It was actually called Crisis on Infinite Earths, where the multiverses were all basically getting destroyed, and all the heroes from different multiverses were coming together to try and fight the what's it called? No, this wasn't just the CW. This was an actual DC plot point in DC Comics. The CW picked it up. DC animation series also picked it up, and basically the whole point was to get rid of the multiverse and to basically pick and choose characters from these multiverses, smash them together, and inject them into the one remaining Earth at the conclusion of the storyline. It feels like this is what Disney is trying to do with the MCU. They are trying to reboot the MCU, and they're going to pick and choose characters to basically transition into the next iteration of the MCU, and probably use this as a means of closing out the multiverse. I think that's another thing that they're doing with this, is they are basically trying to shut down and eliminate the entire multiverse in and of itself, because the multiverse didn't work as a narrative instrument. With the MCU, the multiverse absolutely did not work. In fact, it made things incredibly stupid, and I think that's the goal of Disney, is to close out that plot point and get rid of it.
Potential spoilers, but again,
it could be all rumor. It could be all fake too. We don't know.
you know, I remember when the Rise of Skywalker leaks were out there and everybody said, oh, these are fake. There's no way it's real. That's the dumbest plot I've ever
was
heard
real.
of. And it turned out it was like all real. Or sometimes they're minor things that are changed
Real,
because
all of it.
I know they get changed in post-production or whatever, and people were like, well, because that one little thing didn't happen, that means that everything else is not true. And it's like, shut up, nerds. It's it's like, if this is what they're going with.
Well, I mean, don't forget what they did with Snow White. Don't forget, Snow White went through a massive amount of reshoots because people lost their shit about the 7 magical creatures, which look like a bunch of dirty hobos out in the forest, and changed it. They changed it so they actually brought back the 7 dwarves in that nightmare-inducing hyper-realistic CGI, and then the former 7 magical creatures turned into a band of thieves. And they had to completely rework it because when it leaked that this was replacing the dwarves, people just absolutely lost their shit. And Disney went, oh, this is bad. We can't do this. And then they had to change everything. But now with Doomsday, they're in too deep. They can't. They've already got the date. It's releasing, I believe, in November. I think is when. Is it in November or December that Doomsday is dropping? They're in too deep. They don't have time to make reshoots. This is it. This is what we're going to get.
It just sounds like one big cameo fest, a lot of deaths, and I'm not sold on Robert
Rachel
Downey
Zegler,
Jr.'s Doctor Doom. I don't want him to be Doctor Doom too. I want Doctor Doom to be his own guy and not a Tony Stark variant.
Just because they want to get Robert Downey Jr. back.
Yeah, I'm like, nah.
That's the Hail Mary. You guys were talking about like, oh, it's a Hail Mary. Bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, that's the Hail Mary. Because Robert Downey Jr., without question, was the face of the MCU. He was. When the MCU has been nothing but downhill ever since Robert Downey Jr. left the MCU. Him and Chris Evans. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, they were the faces of the MCU. Honestly, more Robert Downey Jr. than Chris Evans. But those two were the faces of the MCU. After Endgame, when they're both gone, it's been nothing but downhill off a cliff ever since they lost their face of the MCU. So bringing the two of them back is the Hail Mary.
But let's talk about it again. Rumor. Don't want any potential spoilers. Don't watch the video. We're going to talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo.
Yes, they're bringing back the majority of the original the original Avengers, minus Scarlett Johansson. They're not bringing her back, but because Scarlett Johansson said she will never work with Disney again after the way they treated her. But they're bringing the rest of the cast back for one last ride, effectively speaking. And but here's the thing: nobody cares about Thor. What they did, Chris Hemsworth, they must have paid him a fortune. They must have paid Chris Hemsworth an absolute fortune for him to come back as Thor, because he does not want to work with Disney again either. He doesn't like how Disney none of the original cast liked how Disney treated them. Disney treated Robert Downey Jr., they've paid him God knows how many millions of dollars and basically catered to his every whim. The original cast got treated like shit by Disney. None of them want to work with him again. Except for maybe Mark Ruffalo, because, Mark Ruffalo's a cuck, so he'll probably take whatever dickhead Disney throws his way.
If you do, if you'd like more Clownfish TV, go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's moreclownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV episodes, podcasts, articles, etc. that you will not find here. And also, if you'd like to listen to us, make sure you don't miss an episode. Go out to iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts, and subscribe over there, because you will get notified, unlike YouTube, which doesn't like to notify people anymore for some reason. It's very weird. Very weird. So let's talk about this. I'm going to be honest. I just don't care. I just don't care about Marvel, but
lot of
we'll
people
talk
don't
about
care.
it because it sounds like the big final send off for the whole damn thing.
Yeah, and then there could be
So-
more though. So
Oh God, I'm not sure how this one's gonna do. It sounds like the lesson they took away from Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't, let's give people what they want. It's like, oh, cameos. You like cameos? Let's.
Yes, and this is exactly what critics have been saying since Deadpool and Wolverine. Because Deadpool and Wolverine was so immensely successful, people were saying Disney's not going to take the correct message away from its success. Disney is not going to look at Deadpool and Wolverine and say, oh, this was just a hell of a fun movie. It gave the audience what they want, which is just fun, funny, balls to the walls action with characters that we love treated properly. They ignore all that and they just go, cameos. The audience wants cameos. They want nostalgia. We're just going to give them cameos and nostalgia. That's what we're going to throw at them. And not take away just a flat out fun movie. Clearly everyone involved had a blast making the movie and it showed in the performances and it was just overall a great movie. That's not what they're going to do. They're just going to go, oh, you like the nostalgia cameos. We're going to throw those in.
Shove every cameo of every character from every iteration of Marvel
Yep.
ever into one movie and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like there's much of a plot. It just sounds like it's a bunch of cameos.
which is what we were concerned by. We were worried
Yeah.
about that.
Right. So this is it. This comes from Cosmic Book News. They got it from, I think, Reddit. And apparently, again, it's been vetted by a couple other people. John Campia from the movie blog said that he thinks it's legit. This jives with everything he's heard. And he has been right. I know some people, dunk on John Campia, but he's been right about a lot of things in the past. Spoilers, he does know a lot of people. He was right about a lot of Transformers stuff early on. I remember that. So, just
But again, it's just hearsay at this point in time.
all right. So this comes from Cosmic Book News. John Campia says this is real. Here's the full outline. On Wednesday's episode of the John Campia Show, Campia revealed that two separate viewers, not Hollywood insiders, just fans of the show, sent him the document within the last 24 hours. So it's two separate people sent him this document, this leak, within 24 hours. Campia, who has said for months that he has known the film's story, told his audience he went through it line by line and reached a blunt verdict. This document is the full plot outline of Doomsday. Now, that doesn't include all the dialogue, that doesn't include the acting, that doesn't include minor plot points or whatever. So sometimes when you look at an outline of a movie, it sounds like ass on paper until you see the whole thing put together. That being said, it sounds like ass.
When we do reviews, and sometimes I'm like, it isn't that bad of a movie, but when I'm talking about it, I'm like, it sounds bad, but it really isn't. It's kind of
It sounds like the worst movie ever made.
but it really isn't. Yeah.
So how do movies get greenlit? They're terrible. That basically whoever's pitching the movie makes it sound like the best movie ever to the executives, and they give them a bunch of money, and then the execution is lacking, right? So Robert Meyer Burnett, who Campia says has also known the plot for some time, reviewed the document as well and backed the assessment on air. What makes this land differently than the usual leak is the show's.
Which, by the way, Robert Meyer Burnett is a big name in the Hollywood industry. So if he backed the assessment that this is the plot for the full plot for Doomsday, you can pretty much take that to the bank.
And back the assessment on air. What makes this land differently than the usual leak is the show's track record on this exact story. That is true. They actually have, Campia's had a pretty good track record, to be honest. You don't have to like him, but he has a pretty good track record. Campia noted that for months, the two have watched Doomsday leaks come and go, privately knowing most are wrong. He also reminded viewers of a prediction he made long ago that everything would be out there by July. It's now July 1st, and per Campia, the leak is starting to hit critical mass. Okay, so let's take a look at this.
Here we go.
We're going to open this one up. Let's see, okay, we got all three of them here. This is Bat Movie Fan has it. Let's go with the Bat Movie Fan.
Okay.
You ready? You ready for
I haven't heard that.
the most amazing Marvel thing ever since the last Marvel thing?
Okay. If you don't want to hear it, then don't listen.
The full plot decryption of Avengers Doomsday opens New York City on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's Earth. He's fighting Deadpool and Wolverine. Remember them? They made a lot of money. So we got
Yeah.
to put them back in the movie, who are sent there with a planet-killing bomb built by Beast, which would be Kelsey Grammer, to destroy Toby's world in order to save their own universe from an incursion. Toby battles Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who manages to plant the device. Wolverine stays behind when it detonates, and both he and Toby's Spider-Man, along with everyone on Earth, are killed.
Ready. First scene. They are killing off two of the most popular actors and characters in the Marvel Universe. First fucking scene. They're killing off Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and they're killing off Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Now, bear in mind, for those of you that are familiar with Secret Wars, you know this is probably not permanent. Okay, for if any of you guys are familiar with the old school Secret Wars comic book miniseries, this will not be permanent, because it's. I'm not going to say anything yet. I'll wait till we get to the end of this, like this thing here, and I will explain.
Oh.
So, Beast and/or Professor X kill everybody.
Whole planet just because they
Whole
don't
planet.
want theirs. Yeah.
Deadpool escapes and returns to his own Earth, which we see in the distance. Professor X watches the destroyed world below with sadness, but they had no choice.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah.
We then cut to Tony's funeral. That would be the end of Endgame, so we're just going to forget, I guess, all the show. I don't know. Steve speaks with some of the heroes, including Ant-Man, before returning the stones. He goes back in time and chooses to stay with Peggy. They have a son, Jim. One day, Loki visits. This sounds like the storybook, like the Golden Book version of it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So one day, Loki.
And yeah, I realize that it's a very significant mischaracterization of Charles. I know, but this is Disney Marvel. They're all about destroying legacy characters. They're literally bringing the X-Men into the MCU specifically to destroy them. So their better heroes can basically prove to be so much better and fuck the X-Men, who is one of the most popular superhero groups in comic book history. But they have to, this is modern Hollywood, is that they have to take their better, more diverse heroes and basically dance on the graves of better heroes, better well-written heroes, in order to make them, like, bolster them and make them seem like better people, when it comes across as completely disingenuous, completely fake, and it makes them look even worse. It makes them look like, well, they can't do shit. And basically, they needed the plot to get rid of the better superheroes.
He visits them. This is before the Loki season 2 finale. So again, homework. You need to do homework to watch this movie. He tells Steve about the TVA and warns him that they will soon prune his timeline because Steve was never meant to live there or have a son. Loki offers them a way out. He can take them to a universe where they don't exist and can live in peace, and that'd be the Fantastic Four's universe.
This is going to get
leaving,
complicated.
Loki gives Steve a special card to contact him. Steve and his family live there for 10 years. We then see Dr. Doom visiting Sue and Franklin. They clearly know each other. Doom says he has come to speak with Reed. He warns them about the incursions and reveals their universe is next. They just got done saving it from Galactus, and they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Let's do this again. He proposes a plan, but they must travel to Earth 616. Doom also asks Reed whether it's possible.
Which, by the way, just as a reminder, Earth 6... Wait, did they actually make... No, sorry, they did make the MCU's Earth 616. Sorry, I was thinking something else. I was thinking... I was thinking something else. I was thinking how it was an insult that they made the MCU's Earth 616 instead of making it something else. And that way, comic book fans would be like, oh, the actual comic book universe could be out there somewhere. And this is a different one. That's what I'm thinking of.
Someone from another universe is living in theirs. They scan the planet and discover an anomaly. Steve and his family, they what do? They confront Steve, who recognizes them after living there for a decade. They explain the incursions and ask him to come to 616 to help convince the Avengers to trust Doom's plan. They travel there. Steve successfully persuades the heroes to listen. They visit the X-Men's universe, but the X.
By the way, there's a very distinctive problem with the plot where Steve was like Steve, when he stayed back with Peggy. Bearing in mind, the entire concept of Endgame was that when they went back in time, they were not actually chronologically going back in time because they can't travel back through time through their own universe because time is linear and they can't backtrack through it. So what they were doing is they were actually traveling to a different multiverse to acquire the stones. It was just a multiverse that was practically identical to their existing universe. That was like a major plot point. They had this whole they had this like whole little dialogue thing where Ant-Man was like, so Back to the Future was a lie or Back to the Future can't happen. So they actually went back to universes that were not 616 to get the stones to then return back to 616 to basically do their plan. And then when Steve went to return the stones back to the other universes, he was not actually in universe 616. He was in a completely different universe. So why would the TVA prune his timeline? Because saying like, oh, he's not supposed to be back there. It's not even his 616. It's not like he's back in the 19, that he returned back to the 1940s in 616. He returned to an entirely different universe. So why have the TVA prune his timeline saying, oh, you're not supposed to be here? They'll address it. Okay. It's probably going to be stupid, but I guess they'll address it.
They traveled there. Steve successfully persuades the heroes to listen.
Wait. Then who gave the shield to Falcon and Bucky? Steve and Peggy and another, the same as who Peggy died. Yeah. See again. Yeah. Who gave the shield to Falcon? Again, they fucked up their own logic in Endgame because Steve didn't go back through time to his own universe. He went to a parallel universe that just happened to be in that timeline. Again, like this is why the people applaud Endgame as being like, oh, a great cinematic achievement. I didn't think Endgame was all that good. Like, the entire time heist thing, I didn't like. The only part of Endgame I liked was the final battle. The whole concept with the time heist, I didn't like that in the first place. And the ending of Endgame basically fucks their logic completely in the first place because there's no way Steve would have actually, been back in the 1940s to then, grow old to give the shield to Bucky or to Falcon because he never went back to his own time. It was in a completely different dimension. It's just Disney, like, I don't know what's wrong with them. Also, how did Steve know he would live that long? Steve was in his prime. Steve was in his prime in World War II, and there are like not many. There's disturbingly few, but there are still World War II veterans alive in modern day. So, especially given that he had the super soldier serum, it's reasonable to assume that if he had gone back to the 1940s, that he would have lived long enough to be around for Tony's funeral in modern day. But still, he didn't go back to his own 1940s. He went to an alternate dimension 1940s. So the logic still doesn't work. You see how Disney and Disney writers don't know how to write a good movie anymore? Like, they don't know how to write a good movie. And Endgame shows that. People like, oh, Endgame's so wonderful. No, it's not. It really isn't. The end fight was fun. The final battle against Thanos was fun. The rest of it, like the entire time heist thing, I didn't like it. I did not like the time heist thing. I thought it was stupid.
To trust Doom's plan. They travel there. Steve successfully persuades the heroes to listen. They visit the X-Men's universe, but the X-Men are hostile. Oh my God. Yeah, they're assholes.
Of course.
They blew up a whole planet. They killed Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man in the first
Yeah, Logan.
That's unforgivable, according to our daughter. That'd be an unforgivable crime.
Not gonna go over well.
And they kill off the OGs of Marvel. Before the MCU was ever a thing, they killed off Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and they killed off Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. They kill off the OGs. Do you really think that's going to go over well with audiences? We finally get Logan back, and he's kicking ass, and then they kill him off in the first scene.
They've survived multiple incursions and trust no one. They assume the MCU heroes and the Fantastic Four have come to destroy them in attack. Reed and Doom explain their solution to build a massive cannons on each Earth. Oh my God, this is about as dumb as the Galactus plan.
Yeah.
Reed and Doom explain their solution: build massive cannons on each Earth that will permanently separate the universes and stop the incursions. Cannons, okay. They will split into a team, and each one will go to another Earth to place a cannon there. What? Meanwhile, Steve tells
this makes
Thor
no sense.
he met a Loki who is still alive. Thor asks Steve to take him to him. Using Loki's card, they locate the TVA, but when they arrive, everyone is dead and Loki had his heart ripped out.
Wow, this is lovely. Okay, but all I'm hearing is a bunch of Pedro Pascal is going to be in this movie. So
that's what I'm hearing is
it's like say Pedro Pascal is one of the main characters. So no, thank you.
They realize Doom is responsible. His name is
what the hell? How did they realize Doom is responsible? Like, what are we doing? And by the way, there is still, I'm not sure if they're going to bring this up. There's still a very salient plot point here that is yet to be addressed. Remember what happened at the end of Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange? You guys all remember what happened at the end of Multiverse of Madness? How Charlize Theron's character, I don't even know who the hell she was supposed to be, comes through an interdimensional portal, says there's incursions, you need to come with me so we can deal with it because you caused them. And he's like, okay, let's go. And the third eye pops open and they go into the incursion. I thought they were the ones that were supposed to be dealing with the incursions. We have yet to hear a fucking thing about any of them. Like, what were they doing? Just screwing off on some multiversal planet, just sipping Mai Tais? Like, I thought they were supposed to be the ones that were supposed to be stopping this.
So, no thank you.
They realize Doom is responsible. His name is Doom. His name is Doom. It's kind of like the joke they made in Bumblebee. They're like, can we trust these guys? They're called Decepticons. I mean, come on. All right. Doom's responsible. Steve goes back to confront Doom, who reveals his true plan to allow the incursions to happen so he can rebuild the multiverse in his own image and resurrect his dead family. He takes He takes Steve to his castle in Latveria on his Earth. There, Steve meets Doom's followers, masked witches. One of them impersonates Peggy to manipulate him. Doom reveals that Steve's presence in their universe is what triggered their incursion because he didn't belong there. It also led to the death of Doom's family. So this is not like Doom has a beef with Reed Richards, not necessarily Steve Rogers, right?
Yeah, this how could they screw this up so badly? Doom, it is a major plot point in the Fantastic Four comics that Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom has a very personal, a personal and long-lasting relationship with one another. They used to be I think if memory serves, they used to be friends. They used to be colleagues. And that is completely just, fuck that. We're not doing any of it. Yeah, they're like frenemies. Doom has come to hate Reed, but he also respects Reed. And that is a major plot point in the Fantastic Four. Doom is a Fantastic Four villain. And now they're basically turning it okay, forget about Reed Richards. He's going to hate Steve Rogers because his presence triggered an incursion and killed his family? How did Steve Rogers' presence lead to the death of Doom's family? In the meantime, Steve is doing the Thanos thing I don't even know who you are. What are we doing? What the hell are we doing right now? This is so stupid. This is just so incredibly stupid.
But now it's Steve Rogers.
Now it's Steve Rogers. Doom became obsessed with...
My next thing is, why couldn't they just not have killed Tony Stark and not have sent Steve Rogers back to the past? If you were going to want to bring them back to ruin everything anyway, why didn't you just leave them alive?
Sounds complicated and depressing. All right. Doom became obsessed with stopping the incursion, conducting dangerous experiments, one of which failed, killing his own family and leaving him disfigured. Again, this is very different from the Fantastic
For
Four
God's sake.
origin, forcing him to wear the armor and mask. As revenge, Doom kills Steve's son in front of him.
Oh.
Wait.
Doom
Sounds like a
announced,
good time as a mom.
yeah, right. So we got dead Spider-Man, dead Wolverine, and dead baby. Doom
Well, no,
announced.
it's 10 or so now.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you can't just kill the baby. I just think it'd be just like it's like
Still
was
a
the one.
baby, but yeah.
No,
Honestly, like this, what happens when they fire Jonathan Majors? Honestly, I have zero faith that anything they would have done with Jonathan Majors would have been would be anything better than this. Like for the times that they had Jonathan Majors, they couldn't do anything with him as is. The only thing that worked well with Jonathan Majors was maybe his appearance in the Loki series as the one of what did they classify, like, because they didn't even call him Kang, they called him like what, the one above all or something like that. That was the only good Kang appearance in the MCU. All of Kang's other appearances in the MCU were even that one was not great. It wasn't a good appearance, but all the rest of them were even worse. All of Kang's appearances in the MCU were dog shit. They were legit dog shit. They weren't good. They didn't know what to do with Kang. That's the problem. They had no clue what to do with the character. They just said, "Oh, Kang's a big villain in the comics. We'll use him." And then they went, "How?" And Disney kind of went, "I don't know, but fuck it. He's a popular villain. Let's throw him in there and do something with him."
oh, but like, what was the one Lion King meme they had where they go to Pride Rock and Rafiki just like chucks baby Simba? Like, I guess just see like Doom just doing that. Like, you know,
Well,
it's like,
this sounds awful. Let's hope
kneel
this sounds-
before Doom. He just like chucks the baby.
Before Doom. Okay.
Doom announces the Avengers are coming and Liberia prepares for war. All right, so the Fantastic Four, Avengers, and the X-Men unite and march on Liberia, and there's a whole
So it's the same damn thing from
Is it
the
gonna be-
end of, like,
Endgame. Yeah.
Infinity War.
and that's the same thing all over again.
I can't
Yep, it's
wait for
Infinity
all
War.
the women.
Yes. It's and not Endgame. This is Infinity War all over again. This is the end of Infinity War when Wakanda and all of the Avengers and everything team up to fight Thanos' army. They're redoing this again. Is anybody surprised?
Of those teams to get a slow-mo
Yeah, right.
walk. You know, we got like Storm and Rogue, and they killed all the female Avengers off, didn't they? Pretty much. So we don't have any female Avengers
I'm
left.
just sitting here like, this is do they have like a one trick? Rooster Brothers have like a one trick that they want to use again. It's like, oh, they're all
Yeah.
together, and then it's gonna be like, oh, look.
Yes, because the one takeaway that Disney got from Infinity War and Endgame was everybody loved the big battle with all the heroes fighting, doing this big battle against the enemy army. That was like the one thing everybody really loved about both of those movies. And they said, we need to do that again and again and again. And that's all they know how to do now.
Look, excitement.
Thor prays to Odin. Well, he's dead. Who sends an army from Valhalla? Okay.
Yeah. Thor prays to Odin. They killed Odin in the third Thor movie. Was the third or the fourth? Yeah, it was the third. In the third Thor movie, they killed Odin. He dead. He's not in he's not in Valhalla because he didn't die in battle. So who's he praying to? The Odin is just like Ragnarok happened, but Odin wasn't a part of Ragnarok. Odin just died peacefully on Earth. He got killed by Hela on Earth, not in battle. So he never made it to Valhalla. Jane made it to Valhalla. Odin was not engaged in battle, so he never went to Valhalla.
To join the battle. A massive war erupts as the Earths begin to collide. Eventually, the universes crash into each other and are destroyed, killing everyone. Everybody dies. Except for
Everyone
Doom.
dies.
It's revealed that he stole Loki's powers. Using them, he creates Battle World, resurrects everyone.
How did he steal Loki's powers? So, for those of you that don't know, Loki ended up being the god of stories at the end of the series. Yes, Loki is a cosmic being now. He didn't become that cosmic being until he figured out how to use his time slipping. And at the end of the Loki series, he comes into his power as the god of stories. Where that's the end of it. That's the end of the Loki series. He's basically holding all the timelines together, which forms a tree instead of these wild branching paths. He now forms a cohesive tree, and he now sits on the throne holding all of the multiverses together. Loki is doing that, which begs the question, how are these incursions happening if Loki, as the god of stories, is literally holding all of the multiverses together to prevent that from happening? The entire, like, the reason why the TVA no longer exists in its current form think about it. The whole purpose of the TVA was to stop incursions. That's why they were going around pruning shit, blowing up worlds, etc., is because of incursions. Loki became the god of stories, now holds all of the multiverses in his hands, and thus halted all incursions. Incursions no longer exist anymore. The incursions have stopped because Loki is now god of stories. So why are there incursions happening in the first place? How did Doom steal Loki's power if he tore out the heart of Loki before he became the god of stories? He hadn't come into his power yet. He didn't come to his power until the end of the Loki series. So how did he steal his power? You cannot tell me that Doom basically killed Loki when he was the god of stories, when he's literally, like, not just in a figurative sense in the MCU, but an actual god holding all the multiverses together, one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. You're going to tell me that Doom somehow stole the god of stories' power? I don't like this story makes no goddamn sense. None of this makes any sense whatsoever.
One and erases their memory. So this is going to lead right into Secret Wars. They believe Battle World is all that has ever existed. We see them living new lives in this false reality. Doom sits on his throne as the Emperor of Battle World. The end.
Oh yeah, by the way, here's that part here. Creates Battle World and resurrects everyone. So he'll be bringing back so they'll probably be bringing back Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman as Spider-Man and Wolverine. So that's the part I was waiting for. They are going to come back as Spider-Man and Wolverine. So it's like it's as with anything in Marvel. Yeah, they were only mostly dead, not all dead.
I mean, I see parts of it. I think parts of it sound like it might work out really well, but a lot of it just sounds like I don't know if I want to watch this. And it sounds like the, Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, and Pedro Pascal.
Early draft. Okay, let's see if they'll actually go through this.
Yeah, and then basically Battle World. This is how they bring everybody back. So they're gonna have Secret Wars are promising like all the Marvel heroes from all the Marvel movies, all at once. Are we gonna get Black Widow? She come back too?
No, that'd be funny if they did. Okay, now see that they should. You're just gonna.
But by the way, did you notice whom they didn't talk about bringing in, who they were touting as the new Avengers? Absolutely no mention of the Thunderbolts team in that entire synopsis. None whatsoever. They didn't even say who the Avengers were in the initial story. They've got the X-Men, don't know which X-Men characters they're going to be. You got Fantastic Four, well, we know who that's going to be. And then we've got the Avengers. What Avengers? There are no Avengers. Like, the Avengers do not exist at present. The team, there is no Avengers team. It is a completely disbanded team. So who are the Avengers? Yeah.
come back to.
No, that'd be funny if they did. Okay, now see that they should. You're just going to resurrect everybody anyway.
Yeah, so this is the same guy saying this is leading into Secret Wars. Again, these are rumors. Rumors. I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
Here's a short rundown of the plot. Years passed since Battleworld was formed. Most of the residents have no idea about the old world, only with a few exceptions. Everyone on Battleworld, whose nature is medieval and feudal, believes it has always existed. Their past lives have been rewritten into roles: barons, rulers, citizens.
Wait. Okay. I never read through Secret Wars. But correct me if I'm wrong. For those of you that have read through Secret Wars, did they actually go medieval? Or was it just modern day, just in a contained little like pocket universe? I didn't think that they went full medieval. Am I wrong about that? Some did. They did. Okay, they did go medieval. I thought it was modern day. Some of you guys are saying yes, medieval. Some of you guys are saying modern day. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's like different sections of Battle World are medieval, some are modern day, perhaps. Maybe that's what it is. Some did. It was split into mini worlds. Okay, that's what it was.
Of domains, etc. All three Spider-Men remembered the old world, as do Namor, the Young Avengers, Vision, She-Hulk, Deadpool.
Oh God,
Jean Grey.
She-Hulk's in it.
She-Hulk's in. Well, okay, so this explains because they had concept art they tried to say was not real, where they had like a Hulk village or something.
God, we're getting the twerking green menace again. Oh no. Why? Well, I mean, unfortunately, it makes sense. From a narrative perspective, unfortunately, it makes sense for one of two reasons. First being the gamma radiation, because that's the gamma radiation provides a resistance to like not remembering stuff. That was established when I think during the plot line of Spider-Man One More Day, where I think it was Doctor Strange, I can't remember exactly, but where basically magic caused the entire world to forget who Spider-Man was. Magic basically caused nobody remembered that Spider-Man was Peter Parker, for those that knew who he was. And magic caused caused everyone to forget, but Hulk did not. The Hulk remembered that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and the reason for that was the gamma radiation that was infused into him. That was because the Hulk is basically just pure gamma radiation. It provided him resistance from that memory wipe, and so he was able to counter it and remember who Peter Parker was. The same could be applied to She-Hulk, but at the same time, there's another narrative plot point that works for both She-Hulk and Deadpool, that being their ability to break the fourth wall. And that the fact that they both know that they are in a movie. They know that they are fictional characters in a movie, and so the two of them, and even like the regular She-Hulk, in the comic books, the non-Disneyfied, fucked up version of She-Hulk, the comic book She-Hulk also broke the fourth wall routinely. So it makes sense that the two of them would remember their old world, because She-Hulk, just because they decided when they wrote her as a character that she breaks the fourth wall. Deadpool, because he is so insane that he knows he's a fictional character and thus is able to break the fourth wall. So the two of them, out of all of them, are the only ones that it makes sense that they know the truth and they know that this is not the real world.
It's like, so they all go to the Ren Fair. Is that what we're doing? Is that
basically
what we're doing?
Sadie Sink's Jean Grey.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Wait, Sadie Sink's Jean Grey. So Sadie Sink is going to be Jean Grey. I don't know who this person is. Let's find out. I have no idea who Sadie Sink is. Let's find out. Who is Sadie Sink? Wait. They're taking the girl from Stranger Things and they're making her Jean Grey? Really? They're making her Jean Grey. Actually, this might be what's a more current. Like, maybe it'll work. Maybe. Like, I did not watch Stranger. I watched like the first 2 seasons. No, she's not in Dark Phoenix. No, she's not in Dark Phoenix. That the Phoenix in Dark Phoenix was Sophie Turner. I honestly don't know if she'd be a good Jean Grey. I didn't watch Stranger Things beyond season 2, so I have no idea if she's a good actress, if she has if she has the acting chops to be able to pull off being Jean Grey. I honestly have no idea if she could do it or not.
Reed Richards and Sentry, they form a resistance after realizing Doom is not a ruler. He's the engine of reality itself. Battleworld exists because Doom is actively maintaining it using Loki's stolen power. They break.
So he didn't bring Loki back, I take it.
Yeah. All right. So they have to recruit allies who are glitching, regaining memory, and questioning their reality. And did they get? I want to know. Secret War. So did they get one? Do we have Black Suit Spider-Man? And 2, does everybody carry around a lenticular shield? That you can twist it, and that would be kind of cool. Like the toys, remember?
Yes, I gathered you.
Like,
toys,
oh,
yes.
I can see whatever's going on in my lenticular shield here. But now I turned it, and I don't know what the hell's going on.
She's in Brand New Day, and people are saying she is Jean. Yeah, I think I heard about that Jean Grey was supposed to appear in Brand New Day. I vaguely remember hearing about that.
This whole movie sounds like a lenticular shield.
It's just
Doom commands an army of Thors. And Doctor Strange is the second in command.
Wait.
Coven of...
And again, where did Doctor Strange come from? Where the hell did Doctor Strange come from? Because again, at the ending of Multiverse of Madness, he went off with Charlize Theron's character to stop incursions, and now all of a sudden, oh, he's now Doom's second in command. Where the fuck did he come from? Like, what is going on? What is going on here? This is just insane. Why make a Brand New Day if the universe is ending? Because they needed a Spider-Man movie to hold on to the licensing. That's very likely why. It's kind of like how they did Long Way Home, or it's kind of like how they did Long Way Home. After what was it? Right after Endgame, I think. And yeah. That's what I'm. Yeah, it's just like with Long Way Home happening right after Endgame, and they were advertising, or no, Long Way Home, not No Way Home, Long Way Home. Wait, am I getting it wrong? It was the second Spider-Man movie. The second, not the third one, the second one. Was the second one called No Way Home? I thought that was the third one. I thought third one was No Way Home. Far From Home. Yes, thank you. Okay. It's hard to keep track of these things. Far From Home. Sorry. Not Long Way Home, Far From Home. Yeah, so with if you remember, Far From Home, before Avengers Endgame had even released, they were already advertising and talking about Spider-Man Far From Home, so you knew Spider-Man was going to live. It's kind of like that. Like, why are they doing a Spider-Man? Why are they doing a Spider-Man movie right before Doomsday? Is because they want to hype up Spider-Man, because he's like one of the few characters left that's actually decent in the MCU, and so they need to use him. And my guess is Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to somehow, like, the ending of Brand New Day is going to lead into Doomsday. It's the whole thing of get excited for watch product to get excited for new product. That's the whole, like, Brand New Day is effectively, while it should be just a Spider-Man movie about how he's adapting to life now that Aunt May is dead and nobody knows who he is anymore, and he's on his own, he's literally on his own now. And and they're going to use that as the means to lead into Doomsday to get people hyped up about Doomsday. And also to introduce Jean Grey and to introduce the concept of the X-Men. That's what they're doing it for. So that way they can basically introduce, they're introducing mutants, they're introducing Jean Grey, therefore they're introducing the X-Men, and that leads into Doomsday. So again, watch product in order to get excited for next product, and then rinse and repeat.
Which is?
This sounds dumb as shit.
Yelena, third in command. Sentry is held captive.
Yelena serves as his third in command, though she has no powers. Yeah, well, Yelena never had powers. What is this? Yelena serves as his third in command, though she has no. Did Yelena get powers in Thunderbolts? I didn't hear anything about that. Yelena has always been a straight human. She's a Black Widow. Why does it, though she has no powers? Like, no shit, she doesn't have powers. She's a straight human. This makes no sense. And why is Yelena third in command? Like, what is happening? What is happening with this plot line here?
Lock and key. Another key figure Doom keeps is Steve Rogers, the only person whose memory he deliberately preserved because he hates him.
I don't want to see these heroes in medieval times.
Oh my God, again. He hates Steve and wants him to witness his victory. Again, completely just ignoring the much more interesting and long-established rivalry between Reed and Doom. One of the most popular and interesting rivalries in all of Marvel Comics is Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards, because they hate each other, but at the same time, they also tremendously respect one another. That, is a very interesting plot point regarding these two characters, and MCU went, fuck it, we're doing it live. Why give the fans what they want? The fans have only been begging to see Reed go up against Doom and to basically have that intellectual tete-a-tete and history between them. Yeah, fuck that. Let's just make him pissed off at Steve, because everybody loves Steve Rogers. Because again, they're doing this because of Chris Evans, because Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. made the MCU, and they're like, well, we need to have our faces of the MCU here being so prominent, otherwise people aren't going to care. Problem: nobody's going to care anyway with this story. Nobody's going to give a shit. They don't like the white man. Yeah, true story. They don't.
Times at the Ren Fair. That if this is true, that's not what happened in the original Secret Wars comic. I'm just saying. It was a reason to get all the Marvel characters together to just beat the shit out of each other. And Spider-Man got a black costume.
Here we go. It gets better. Instead of directly attacking Doom, the Resistance focuses on turning his forces against him. She-Hulk gathers the Hulks. That was the picture. Deadpool manages to restore...
Wait, picture? I didn't see it. Wait, there's multiple Hulks. Now we have multiple Hulks. What? What the fuck? What is happening?
His memories, and the Young Avengers unite the mutant population. Tom Holland's Spider-Man rallies New York. Reed Richards gathers the remaining members of the Future Foundation. Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman, and Steve Rogers, who escaped Doom's prison with Yelena's help, set out on a mission to find Loki. So Loki is alive, apparently.
Sounds like fan fiction.
Loki's alive somewhere.
Oh my God.
He's the only one that can take down Doom's power.
It just sounds like fan fiction. It's just like a really...
Yeah, I know. He's found an Asgardian domain has become a casino.
Asgard has become a casino. What am I reading right now? What in God's name am I reading? This is worse fan fiction than when E.L. James did Masters of the Universe. What in the hell is...
Huh?
Oh my god. This is incredibly the only hope I have is that this is a rumor and maybe a draft and not what they're actually going to do. That is my hope. Because right now, this is so stupid.
A corrupt version of Asgard.
Wait. Is it like Back to the Future with like
Basically,
Biff? Is
and
that?
then
Oh
they
my god.
encounter Sylvie Mobius. I can't read it. Obi and
Oh my god, and they're bringing back Sylvie and Mobius. Oh my god.
they encounter Sylvie Mobius. I can't read it.
Obi.
Obi and the other TVA
Obi
members
and the other TVA members
working in a casino. Loki's the manager. He doesn't believe him and throws him out.
Oh god.
Loki is the god of stories. If anyone is going to be able to resist the mind wipe, it's going to be the literal god of stories. Loki is one of 3 characters where it makes perfect sense that he would know exactly what's going on. And they're like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And once again, they're nerfing the crap out of Loki because if Disney loves doing one thing, it loves cucking Loki. That's all they do is cuck Loki. What the hell? And no, not Morbius. No, I thought when my eyes skimmed over the name, I thought the same thing. Oh shit, they're bringing Morbius in. No, not Morbius. Mobius, Owen Wilson's character from the Loki series. Same with Sylvie.
Loki's the manager.
And by the way, how do the Hulks not know what's going on either? Again, the Hulks, because they're pure gamma radiation, they would be able to resist the mind wipe. They would know what's going on.
Doesn't believe him and throws him out.
Oh god.
This is a Secret Wars plot? Is this
Yes, this is again, these are rumors. I hope to God this is not true. This sounds like shit.
I think there's parts that might be good, but most of it together does not sound.
I mean, it depends on how it's done, right? You could take any movie and give a piss poor description of what happens, and it's going to sound awful because you're not seeing it played out. You're not seeing, but it sounds awful.
It gets better. Tony Stark's here. They said they
it is.
discovered
Oh, no.
Tony Stark, who was a miserable drunk, gambling away his life in the casino, and he refuses to join them, but eventually they convince him, and they convince Loki as well. At the final,
Kidding me? Are you kidding me? Appropriate. Appropriate. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Tony becoming a miserable drunk. Here's the thing about that. In the comics, Tony is an alcoholic. That was a very salient plot point in the comic books with Tony Stark, that he was an alcoholic and he recovered from an alcoholic. The problem is that they swapped that out with him having PTSD. So, like, him being a miserable drunk is not outside of the realm because of his history in the comics. He was an alcoholic in Iron Man 1 and 2. No, in Iron Man 1 and 2, they just made him a party guy. They just, like, made him a guy that he loved to party, and, like, they did it, like, extra drunkenness in Iron Man 2. They did the drunkenness in Iron Man 2 because he was trying to cope with the fact that he was about to die, and so he was drinking that pain away, but he didn't go full-blown alcoholic. He did. It was just, it was a response like I'm dying from the palladium in my arc reactor, and so he was drinking basically in that moment because he was depressed. But he didn't go full alcoholic. What they did is they swapped out his alcoholism in Iron Man 3 with PTSD because of his experience in the Avengers. That's what they did. So like the whole thing with him being a miserable drunk, I mean, yeah, it kind of fits the character, but I thought the entire thing was they weren't bringing back Tony Stark. I thought that was the entire thing, is that Robert Downey Jr. was coming back to be Doom. They were not bringing back Tony Stark and Iron Man. They weren't going to do that. So was that a lie?
Battle, armies from across Battleworld gather to storm Doom's castle. Thor and the Hulks fight against the army of Thors. Sorry, I can't say
my
that laughing.
God.
The army of Thors. I just keep thinking, like, is he keeping them around as like man candy? Is that like?
I don't know. Sam leads the resistance against the witches. Wait, Sam, like, the new Captain America? You're not calling him Captain America, just call him Sam.
He's just Sam now.
Doombots and the rest of Doom's forces. Doombots.
Doombots. So Doombots were a thing, yeah.
Reed Richards.
Neon's right. Doombots was a thing. There absolutely was. It absolutely was.
Reed Richards, Yelena Sue, who now remembers everything.
Of course she does.
Was she like his wife or girlfriend in there or something? Steve Rogers,
oh my
Hulk
God.
and She-Hulk, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Sentry, Loki, Iron Man, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, all confront Doom directly.
So they are brave. What the hell? Yeah, why does she suddenly remember everything? Because Girl Boss? I don't know.
But he overwhelms them, defeating them brutally. And I'm sorry, I can't. And they are nearly killed. All of them are just nearly killed. Reed and Sue try to reason with him, telling him that he is grieving for his family and that Battle World is not the answer. He is briefly convinced, but ultimately rejects it and attacks them again. They are saved at the last moment by Toby, Hugh, and Tony, who managed to hold Doom off long enough for Loki to reclaim the stolen power and restore the multiverse. Everything returns to normal. Loki returns to his throne, but not before saying a final goodbye to Thor and his TVA friends. Everyone is sent back to their original universes.
Oh, God. All right, so Deadpool, Wolverine, the X-Men, and Fantastic Four return to their own.
By the way, you know who I've noticed is there are some very conspicuous absences in a lot of this, which has me questioning how, like, this is one thing where I think this may be rumor or this may be a draft. There are a lot of people very conspicuously absent. Like, a lot of characters that are very conspicuously absent. Like, all of the X-Men, with the exception of Logan and Deadpool, all of the X-Men are missing. Shuri and all of the Wakandans are very much absent. There's like one mention of Thor. No Gambit. No Nightcrawler. No mention of Nightcrawler. Because Alan Cummings and Channing Tatum, like, their chairs were on that big old lineup of things. No mention of them. I don't know if Blade's in this one. I don't remember if they had a chair set up for Wesley Snipes. So I don't know if he was ever, like, I don't know if they were going to be bringing in Elektra. I can't remember, like, all the chairs that they had set up for that big old advertisement of all their stars. But, like, there are a lot of characters that are notably absent from this plot. Yeah, we haven't heard about Shang-Chi in any of this. Not one mention of Shang-Chi in literally any of this. Like, there are so many characters. Yeah, Magneto. I mean, yeah, Ian McCallum is reprising his role as Magneto. Like, so many. Like, in both of these synopses, no mention of so many characters. Like, we are literally seeing a fraction. In both of these synopses, we are literally seeing a fraction of the characters. Yeah, there's no Ironheart. What about Mephisto? There was this big thing with Mephisto, at the end of Ironheart, they, God help me, I don't know why, but they brought Mephisto into play at the end of Ironheart. That's a major, like, Mephisto is the literal devil, so they're not even bringing that up. Wanda, like, died at the end of Multiverse of Madness, you know, quote unquote died, so that, you know, I don't think, Elizabeth Olsen has any interest in reprising the role anymore, so she may not be in it, but it's like, this is like there are so many characters that they were touting about being in this that we are seeing none of them. Yeah, there's the White Vision. He's going to be getting his own show, Vision Quest, coming pretty soon. Like, there's so many characters that are not brought into play here. It's like, what's happening?
Realities and do not join the MCU. Oh, that's interesting. Because my understanding was they were going to do this, collapse all the universes into one universe, and we were going to have like X-Men and Fantastic Four in this universe and kind of reset everything. Okay, so the son comes back. Steve Rogers is visiting.
Wait. TVA later gets Steve, Peggy, and their son, who is alive again in a new universe, one where they existed but died, preventing any incursion. Wait. Hold up. Hold the fuck up. So, the TVA gets Steve, a new Peggy, and their son, who are alive in another universe, and so Steve gets his wife and son back, although they're multi-universal counterparts, and move them into a universe where they did exist but died, therefore preventing an incursion, which again, incursions are not a thing. Incursions are no longer a thing because Loki is the god of stories and he is maintaining the multiversal balance very easily. But notice something else about this. Listen to this plotline. They get Steve, another Peggy, and his son from another multiverse and move them into a multiverse where they did exist but died and therefore not preventing an incursion. What does that sound like something that they could have done in another one of their movies? That was a major issue that people had with in another recent MCU movie dealing with the multiverse. Nope, not Endgame. Multiverse of Madness. One of the biggest plot points that people are saying over and over again is, why not get Wanda, her sons, that were in another multiverse where their mother died, and then she can go and take on the role of their mother in that multiverse. Job done. Nobody has to die. They're doing it here. They're literally doing it here. The very thing that fans, that intelligent people were saying, why not just do this? And you'll make Wanda happy. You'll give two boys without a mother their mother again. Everyone lives happily ever after. And by the way, incursions are not a thing because Loki, as the god of stories, is literally keeping everything together just fine. And by the way, just as a note, through both of these movie story beats, not once have they brought up Doctor Strange and Charlize Theron's character addressing incursions. That still has not come up in any of this. Not in any of this have we dealt with the end of Multiverse of Madness.
By the TVA, they bring him back to Earth. Oh, okay. They bring him back to Earth 616 at the end so he can pass the shield to Sam again.
My
After
God.
saying a final goodbye to Sam and Bucky, he returns with the TVA to the reality where Peggy and his son live. The end. Oh, God, this sounds not good. This sounds really not. I hope to God this is fake. This sounds terrible.
It actually sounds like it makes a lot of sense tied into what
it's just a reason to get
before it.
It's just a reason.
If this is legit, this is so bad. Like, if this is legit, this could kill the MCU. this could be this could kill the MCU if they do this. Because bear in mind, Doomsday and Secret Wars are probably some of the most expensive MCU movies to date. Disney is sinking hundreds of I imagine put together, these two movies are going to cost $1 billion to make. Between these two movies, Disney is probably going to be sinking $1 billion into them. If they bomb, that is a massive financial blow to Disney. No, RDJ is getting paid I believe that someone said he's getting paid $100 million per movie. It's, between the production and advertising, this is like $1 billion that Disney is Hail Marying at this franchise. And if it's as bad as this looks, it is going to bomb, and it may be the end of the MCU. I'd say there is a possibility that it might end the MCU. Nostalgia bait people will watch it, yes, but that's only going to make up a fraction of the ticket sales that they'll need just to break even. Just to break even. You have to remember, practically every MCU movie that has come out since Endgame, with a few notable exceptions. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which did fine. That's the best I can give it. Good. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was fine. Deadpool and Wolverine is the only notable success. No Way Home did fine. Yeah, No Way Home did fine. No Way Home. That's another marked one that there's total 3 since Endgame. They've had three MCU has had 3 successful movies. Spider-Verse was not MCU. Spider-Verse was Sony. That was not MC. That was not Disney. That was Sony. You had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was fine. No Way Home did well, and Deadpool and Wolverine kicked ass. Out of everything that Disney has put out since Endgame, those 3 are the only real successes since Endgame. Oh wait, No Way Home is No Way Home was Marvel. No Way Home was Marvel with and they had to split some with Sony. They licensed Spider-Man from Sony for No Way Home, but it is an MCU movie. So it is a Marvel movie, and Sony got their cut by licensing the character. So 3 movies in what? Endgame came out. When did Endgame come out? Was it 2019 or did Endgame come out 2019 or 2016? 2019. Okay. So in the last 7 years, Marvel has had 3 successes. One of them a notable success, which was Deadpool and Wolverine. The others just did fine. They made a small profit. And notice, no Guardians of the Galaxy at all in this. Granted, the Guardians of the Galaxy broke up at the end of Volume 3, so I don't know.
Reason to get all of the characters from all the different Marvel movies back together to do stuff
that they can just then dismiss at the end because they're not part of that anymore. Bye.
Yeah, we're just gonna hand wave it. No,
shut the door on all of this so we can start all over again with the other characters.
What they need to do is just effing kill everybody, wait 20 years, and give it another shot. That's what they need to do.
He's laughing about it, but Neon's absolutely right. They need the Doctor Who treatment. They absolutely do. The MCU needs the Doctor Who treatment. They need to cut it off entirely, wait 10, 15 years, get the franchise away from Disney. Disney needs to sell MCU to a studio that actually gives a shit. Wait 10 or 15 years, and then reboot it again and try again with someone that actually cares about the characters and cares about the stories. That's what they need to do. They're not going to do it because Marvel right now is Disney's cash cow. That Marvel is the one thing that is making Disney any money. And I know that's why they won't sell it. Is they're not making money off Star Wars. They're not making money off any other Lucas. They did make money off Indiana Jones. Their own stuff, they're like doing okay. Marvel is like the only thing that is bringing them in any kind of good money in terms of all their franchises.
Everybody's dead. Marvel's dead. The
From,
end
like,
of Marvel.
merchandising.
The end. Galactus comes in. Where the hell is Galactus in all this? Galactus comes in, eats the entire universe. Where are the Guardians of the Galaxy? Are they not in this at all?
I don't know, but my next thing is, though, it's interesting. So they're gonna Deadpool and Wolverine, highly bankable. X-Men and Fantastic Four, you fought like crazy to get those rights back, but at the end, this is what I don't know if I believe. The end, they don't join the MCU. They just disappear.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
I thought this whole thing was like an elaborate scheme to fuse all the universes together. So we had.
I believe.
That's why I was saying like this Secret Wars one. This could be a rumor or it could just be a draft. I'm hoping and praying. Like, granted, Doomsday looks like shit. I'm hoping that this Secret Wars is a draft. You thought the point of buying Fox was X-Men and FF? Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, if they do this, it doesn't eject the Fantastic Four and the X-Men out of Disney Marvel. It's like they are still part of the MCU, but they're not part of the 616 continuity. And what that does for them is this way they can write story. If they are going to keep the separation, that way they can write Fantastic Four stories with just Fantastic Four villains, and they don't have to worry about overlap with the Avengers or the X-Men. Just like with the X-Men, they can do X-Men stories where it's the X-Men villains and there's no overlap with Fantastic Four villains or the Avengers villains. And like that's the reason why I could see them basically keeping them in their own separate universes, so they can basically let's tell Avengers stories. Okay, we only have to worry about the Avengers villains or Spider-Man villains, as the case might be. And then you've got the Fantastic Four. You can tell only Fantastic Four stories with villains that people recognize from Fantastic Four, and then same thing with the X-Men. And yes, I agree. The fun is that there are crossovers like that. At this point, the MCU, when you're with introducing the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, has become way too complicated. And Disney does not have people smart enough to be able to work with it. That's the problem. They don't have the writers that they had from phase 1 through 3. They don't have them anymore. They've got a bunch of DEI hires who don't know how to write anything original and don't know how to work with interconnected stories. Marvel phase 1 through 3, you had competent writers that loved the stories that they're working on, and they were able to weave in these overlapping stories with skill and talent. They don't have that anymore. They've got a bunch of blue hairs that basically are more concerned about ideology and daddy issues than actually writing cohesive, multi-layered stories that might be interconnected with other films. They don't have it. They are not capable of it anymore because they got rid of all of their good writers. That's why I could see them actually doing this separation of each in their own universe, because that way the writers don't have to think too hard when they write the future movies for the Avengers, for the Fantastic Four, for the X-Men. They don't have to think very hard about, okay, let's keep these timelines straight. Let's keep these movie engagements straight. What happened with this movie that could affect this movie in terms of an Avenger intersecting with an X-Men, or a Fantastic Four intersecting with the Avenger. They don't have to keep that straight in their head. They're all neatly siloed because they have writers that don't know how to write and can't come up with anything original. It's basically kindergarten Hollywood writers.
Believe this.
Because I would, if it were me, and obviously I'm not in charge, but if it were me, I would hit the reset button. I would actually end the Secret Wars or whatever with kind of the very beginning. Go back and be like, you know what? If we're going to reintroduce Marvel, we're going to start, with the Fantastic Four, and then we're going to bring in Spider-Man, and then we're going to just kind of work our way through them.
So, and there's a little caveat here too. I forgot to mention Doom isn't killed. He returns to the Fantastic Four universe. And the major thing is that when Loki recreates the multiverse at the end, he makes one change. Tony is alive again and back with his family in 616.
Oh, shit.
My God, no. Oh my, no. And thus neutering the entire sacrifice in the first place. Oh my, this kid, okay. I'm going to take this as maybe it was real, but it was a draft. That's what I'm going to take from this. That this is real, that this was leaked, but it is a draft. And it is not what they're actually going to do for Secret Wars. That's what I think, especially because they haven't, to my understanding, they haven't started filming for it yet. So my guess is after, now that this has hit the internet and there's going to be a massive negative response to it, they're locked in with Doomsday. There's absolutely nothing that they can do with Doomsday. They're locked in. So they've got to just bite the bullet on that one. With Secret Wars, I think that that this was a draft, and after seeing the response from this, I think that they might actually do one smart thing and say, okay, we can't go this route. The fact that they have not started filming yet means that they have time to completely rewrite the script and not do this, because they're going to be seeing how much negative publicity this is getting. That's the one thing I have hope for, a teeny hope, a teeny tiny little hope. Disney being smart? Well, when it comes to financials, because already Doomsday is probably not going to do well. I actually think what I think I may do is I may actually go see it. I think I may actually go see Doomsday in the theater for one reason, so I can review it on stream. So I can give a review on stream. That is why I think I may actually go see Doomsday. Yeah, I might. I might actually go see it just so I can do a review of it on stream. So but I have a feeling this may be a draft, and I have a suspicion this may not be a final. This may not be the final. I have a suspicion we may see a change to this.
So this is all an elaborate plot.
But then you could bring Black Widow. You could bring Black Widow back the whole time.
No, you can bring Black Widow back. It's like you can bring Tony Stark back, but you can't bring Black Widow back because.
Well, they can't bring Black Widow back because Scarlett Johansson said, I will never work with Disney ever again. That's why. It's not a matter of, we don't have the mechanism to bring Black Widow back. It's the actress said, fuck you guys, I'm never working with you again. They'd have to pay her a crap ton of money. I think even paying Scarlett Johansson a crap ton of money wouldn't work because the problem is they screwed her out of a fuck ton of money with the Black Widow movie. They absolutely screwed her over out of a shit ton of money. And I think no matter how much money they offered her, she's not going to go back because she rightly thinks they probably try and screw her again. And so they're not going to be able to bring her back. Like RDJ, they just threw a truckload of money at me, said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But with Scarlett Johansson, they burned her, and they burned her bad. And I don't think any amount of money would get her back.
She doesn't want to do this anymore. Well, don't worry. You can do another Avengers movie with Robert Downey Jr. You're just gonna have to drop another $200 million to.
Yeah.
This is so
I don't
you're
know if I
undoing
believe some of this because it would make no sense to go to all trouble to get those properties back and then just not use them.
Nothing Marvel is doing now makes sense. None of it makes sense. They don't have a plan. They're just like, we're just making movies and we hope people go see them. And that we realized that if we just put a bunch of cameos and people come see the movie, but
no, because Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't just the cameos. Like everybody wanted them together in a movie anyway, and they used cameos in it, but that wasn't the focus.
The focus was Deadpool and Wolverine's interaction together. It was the heart of Wolverine dealing with his demons. It was awesome fight scenes. It was just hilariously fun action. That's why people love Deadpool and Wolverine. It was for the first time in a long time, Marvel actually put out a fun popcorn movie. They weren't worried about breaking glass ceilings. They weren't worried about throwing ideology, politics into the mix. They weren't worried about girl bossing. They only gave a shit about one thing, making a fun, bombastic popcorn flick, using the cameos as as fun little sprinkles that people would enjoy along with the rest of it. They didn't rely upon the cameos to have the film being fun. That's it. And they didn't learn that lesson with Deadpool and Wolverine.
This just sounds like the focus is the cameos.
And that was more of a Fox thing, right? Like everybody's like, oh well, Deadpool and Wolverine did good and Spider-Man did
that's
good.
True.
I'm like,
that was Fox, yes.
Yeah, that was more of a Fox thing, a Sean Levy thing, and then with Spider-Man, that's
think so. Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't a Fox thing. Deadpool and Wolverine was a Marvel thing because they didn't start working on the film. To my understanding, they didn't start working on Deadpool and Wolverine until after the sale had occurred. So Disney owned Fox and owned all the Marvel characters from Fox when they started working on Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, Deadpool and Wolverine was a love letter to the Fox Marvel universe. Absolutely it was. Like that was a key note there, is that the entire movie, not only was it fun and bombastic, but it was absolutely paying tribute, and it was a love letter to all the Marvel, all of the Marvel movies that Fox put out. That's why at the conclusion, during the credit sequence of Deadpool and Wolverine, you have that beautiful, heartwarming tribute to the entire Fox Marvel lineup. And you had the behind the scenes of all of the Fox Marvel movies as an absolutely beautiful tribute to it. A tribute to a film universe that made the MCU possible in the first place. So I disagree. I disagree with what they're saying on that, because it was owned by Disney when they made Deadpool and Wolverine. But there was an overarching homage to the Fox universe. Yes, well, that's what I mean. They did the behind the scenes. They did the bloopers from all of the Fox universe Marvel movies during the end credit sequence. That's what I'm referencing.
It's definitely a Sony thing. So if Spider-Man does well, it's a Sony thing. I just I don't care. I'm at the point now where I am completely numb to all this stuff. Like I just don't care what they do. Like I'm not shocked anymore. I'm not invested anymore. I'm in a place right now where the most exciting thing going on in Marvel is John Byrne's X-Men, which is going back to the 80s. Like, I just don't care. I know that the best of the MCU is definitely in the rearview mirror. Same with Star Wars. Same with all stuff. And
audiences don't care either, because Mandalorian and Grogu didn't do great. It's not, it was DC, but Supergirl didn't do great. I don't think this is going to do. I think it's going to do. It'll make money. It will, because there are people.
It'll make money. I'm not saying it's not going to make money.
I just think that people. I don't think it's going to make the much money as it would have made a few years ago. I just think people are.
I think this is going to bomb. I think Doomsday and in its current form, Secret Wars, I think it's going to bomb. It really is, because this has gone mainstream in terms of these leaks. And look what happened with Star Wars with these leaks. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker bombed. And I think this is going to bomb too, because they are going to need to make so much money just to break even. I think it's going to come out that Doomsday probably has a production budget of somewhere between 500 to 600 million before advertising. And I think that to break even, Doomsday is probably going to need to do close to $1 billion just to break even. And it's not going to do it. I legit don't think it's going to do it.
Checked out and they're over. They'd rather see other things. They're just tired.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just it. And I think this summer especially, we saw that there's an appetite for new things. I mean, we saw some horror movies do way better than they should have. And I think it's just people are so desperate for new stuff that
they're not, slight disagreement. They're not simply desperate for new stuff. They're desperate for well-written stuff. That is a keynote of distinction. People would not be in the mental state they are with movies because they're like superhero fatigue or anything like that. They literally, audiences literally just want a film that's well written, that isn't cramming politics or ideology down their throat. That's what people want. They just want a well-written movie. Before anybody brings up, Vigilante is done well in streaming, but that, Uwe Boll tapped into a zeitgeist. Citizen Vigilante is a flash in the pan. I saw Citizen Vigilante. I talked to you guys about this. Citizen Vigilante is not a good movie. At all. It is a terribly done movie. From the cinematic perspective, Citizen Vigilante is a terrible movie. But it taps into, with the last 25 minutes of it, it taps into the social zeitgeist, which is why people were interested. But it is a flash in the pan. Generally speaking, look at, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard Obsession. Apparently, that is a really well-received movie. People really like it. And I have to imagine it's probably because it is a very well-written movie. That's what people want. People are just Backrooms too. They're looking for well-written movies. That's it. That's what audiences are looking for. Hit Project Hail Mary. There you go. Project Hail Mary. Another really well-written movie. It was fun, it was interesting, and it was engaging. That is what people want in films. They don't want to be pandered to. They don't want to have ideology crammed down their throat. They don't want to constantly be reminded of politics. They don't want to constantly be reminded of what a shitstorm the world is right now. That's what people want. And movies that realize this and just write a good movie succeed. How well did Mortal Kombat 2 do? So what I understand, Mortal Kombat 2 did pretty good. I've heard that it was good. I've heard that it did pretty well. I think Street Fighter actually is being well received too. Did that Mark? I can't remember if Street Fighter launched yet or not. Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, it's a fun fighting movie. And it's just fun and been fairly well received. That's what audiences want. They want just fun. Oh, it comes out in October? Okay. But the trailer for Street Fighter was pretty well received. People just want fun. They really just want a fun movie where they can forget about the world right now. That's literally all they need to do. Is just create a movie that is fun for that people go to and enjoy themselves and not have to worry about the hellscape that is our world right now. That's it. It's literally that simple.
They're and this just sounds like it's just we had Endgame, and it's kind of like the game I used to play with the kids at bedtime with the stories. It's and then
out.
What? And then oh, Tony died, and then we bring him back again. Yeah, and then we bring him back and just put everything back to where it was. So there's no sacrifice, there's no whatever.
Strict writing by a third grader.
Whatever. Good luck with that. That probably will probably make $1 billion. I mean, it's probably
because
all the cameos. Yeah. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, oh my God. Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Well, it has to make a lot more than that because to break even for this one, it's going to have to make a shit ton of money.
$2 kajillion. So bringing Endgame out, I guess, before this with new footage they filmed just for, what? So wait, you have to go... You have to go see Endgame again to be able to watch this movie and also watch the Loki show and also watch...
That's going to kill it too. The fact that if you want to understand what's happening in this movie, you have to do homework. That's another thing that audiences are sick of. They don't want to have to do homework to understand what's happening in a movie.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm out. Are we going to wrap it up?
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Oh my God. This is gonna be so bad. Like, Doomsday alone is going to suck. Doomsday is going to suck balls. And if they don't change anything about Secret Wars, that's gonna be even worse. Secret Wars will be even worse.
Ember burns bright, brighter than